it going, everybody? So we have a fun review today as we're talking Agatha All Along. While I do consider myself a pretty big fan of the MCU all around, I wasn't overly enthused about the idea about Agatha getting her own spin-off series. Don't get me wrong, I loved Wandavision. I still think it's probably my favorite Disney Plus show, but the character of Agatha, I wasn't really sure how we would expand her character. And then I saw some of the promotional material, and that did win me a little bit over to see maybe if this show could have some potential to it. While my thoughts about Agatha All Along are only based on the first few episodes of this series, so far it sets the stage for a solid spooky adventure with some mystery to unravel along its path. Of course, the last time we saw Agatha back in Wandavision, she wasn't really in the best spot. She lost her powers. And one of the best parts of this season so far is her having to sort of rediscover herself. No longer is she the top witch. We learn a bit more about her history along with the setup for the journey that she's heading towards. I do believe it does take a tad bit too long to get the overall story going in Agatha All Along. But once the story does get going, the plot does start to hit its stride. Since Agatha All Along is positioned perfectly to come out during spooky season, the vibes all around here are pretty much perfect. The creepy, eerie tone is where much of this show shines the best, and its usage towards an exploration into this coven of witches introduced within the series is an aspect that I've liked the most overall. I will definitely say I don't think Agatha All Along is as horrifying or terrifying as the marketing is making it out to be. I would say it's spooky in a more fun type of way. The best comparison, I guess you could say, is think of Hocus Pocus, but probably a little bit more mature. Speaking of witches themselves, I think the cast all around here is spectacular. Agatha and the Coven of Witches especially have great chemistry and are surprisingly pretty funny. I mean, when you get women together like Patti LuPone, Kathryn Hahn, Aubrey Plaza, I expected some jokes here and there, but overall, I mean, their chemistry is off the charts. Also, I'm really glad that the show is sticking with Agatha being an evil witch and not giving her this sort of hero complex or becoming an anti-hero. The series really allows Kathryn Hahn to play up those elements exceptionally well, particularly whenever she's paired in scenes with Joe Locke's character or Aubrey Plaza. Any scenes in the show so far where they were together, I think were my personal favorites. For me, it's tough to say if there's one particular character that is a scene stealer. For me, I'm kind of torn between Aubrey Plaza or Joe Locke. I like both of them a whole lot. To be honest, it's kind of surreal to me just some of these people that are in the MCU now, like Patti LuPone, Aubrey Plaza. Strictly speaking about Aubrey Plaza, she eats up every single sequence she has in the show, and I think she's going to be a character that just gets better and better as the series progresses. And as for Joe Locke, I am a little bit biased because I'm a huge fan of him in Heartstopper. However, I do still feel like his character here has fan favorite potential going forward because of how charming and adorable he is. By the way, full disclosure, I absolutely hate the idea that we have to call his character teen, since it's supposed to be this big mysterious thing in the show. As exciting as that can be, that Agatha All Along is similar to WandaVision, and the fact that Jack Schaefer is playing into the mystery element and things to uncover certain characters' true motivations and identities. Essentially, they want to have a moment much like in WandaVision where we just run rampant with crazy theories, which unfortunately in a lot of ways kind of led to the downfall of the end of WandaVision because a lot of those theories that were so batshit insane ended up being wrong and people got angry. I do not really think that's going to be the case for Agatha All Along because I think for the most part, I could be wrong, but the mysteries they're trying to unfold in Agatha All Along do seem to have very obvious conclusions. The comparisons to this in WandaVision are going to be aplenty, whether that's warranted or not, just because it is a spin-off to WandaVision. There's a lot of references to the events from that series, along with just a heavy amount of expository information to catch people up to speed, while trying to develop Agatha more and the Coven in the lead up to walking the Witch's Road. And that is interesting to me because if you're not aware, the Witch's Road storyline originally in the comic books was a Scarlet Witch story. Now we're giving it to Agatha. And maybe due to that, that could be part of the reason why I think the storyline overall does leave a little bit more to be desired, at least early on. Over the time, the story does definitely get better, but it is gradual. The momentum at first is pretty shaky. It makes me worried though as the storylines progress that by the end with what's set up so far won't have an amazing payoff, in part due to, like I said before, some of the mysteries they're setting up here seem to have very obvious conclusions, along with the fact I'm unsure how this could potentially lead into the bigger picture of the MCU, or if it ever will, and whether or not there's enough here for the overwhelming majority of the audience for the MCU to even care about what happens. If I'm being honest, I think a major reason why a lot of people are probably going to even tune into this is because they hope that potentially Wanda is going to show up at one point or another. Nevertheless, Agatha All Along is a solid, spooky addition to the MCU. It's serviceably entertaining in how it spins off from WandaVision and fits in well for the fun, creepy vibe for the season. Story-wise, it's fairly mixed so far, leaving much more to be desired, but there's enough here that shows potential based on what it seems to be leading leading towards. Obviously, it's very tough to gauge my entire feelings about a show I haven't seen the entire season of. At least for right now, though I usually don't give ratings, at least this time, just so everyone has an idea about it. I would say it's more or less like a 7, 7.5, a little bit under. But it has momentum going forward that could potentially lead it into giving it a higher rating, so that's where I'll leave it for right now. Once you get a chance to check out Agatha All Along, though, make sure you share your thoughts down below. What'd you think of this show? Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? Share your thoughts down below, because the fun is that conversation with you guys in the comment section. Thank you guys, as always, checking out videos. I always do appreciate it. Make sure you like on the video and also subscribe to the channel to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.